Episode 1, Donnie and Johnny story time. Don, do you have a story?
This guy's driving down the street and he sees a sign on the front lawn that says "Talking Dog for Sale, $10." So he goes up to the front door, he knocks, the guy there, he says, "You got a dog for sale?" The guy says, "Yeah." He says, "A talking dog?" He says, yeah. He says, "Can I see him?" He says, "Yeah, he's out back." So they go out in the backyard and the dog's there. The guy says, "Hey, how you doing?" The dog says, I'm good. How are you?" The guy says, "Wow. How did this happen?" Dog says, "You want an origin story. Everybody wants an origin story. How did this happen? How did you learn to talk? Blah, 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 blah." I'm sick of it. I'm tired of telling this story. Everybody who shows up, it's the same deal. How did this happen?
This is the dog saying this.
Yeah, the dog's saying this. A year ago, I was teaching humanities at Yale. And I don't know if you've ever been to Yale, probably not, judging from those pants. But I would say, Yale, the humanities department, it's very interesting. As you enter the quad, there's a quote over the archway there.
This is the dog still.
This is all the dog. From here on out, it's the dog. Just the dog, Johnny. Not Johnny. Just the dog, okay?
Got it.
All right. There's a quote over the archway that says, "He was born with the gift of laughter and a sense that the world was mad," which is a quote from Scaramouche. It's the first line of Scaramouche. Actually, It was written by Raphael Sabatini, which is the greatest name in the history of the world. If your name is Raphael Sabatini and you're sitting at a bar and there's a woman next to you and she says, "Hi, my name is Jane. What's your name?" And you say, "My name is Raphael Sabatini," you're getting laid. There's no question about it.
Does the dog say that?
All right. We can do this or not do this. I work alone here. Okay?
All right.
It's the dog.
Gotcha.
The dog is telling the story about his days at Yale, teaching humanities at Yale.
I got it.
Okay. You want the origin story. All right. I'll give you the origin story. I was born into a family of dog speakers. Everybody in my family, this is not really well known because once a dog can speak, you kind of keep it to yourself, or you have two choices. You keep it to yourself and you have a companion, or someone you can talk to when you're old, or you go public with it, and very few people go public with it because it's madness. Nobody believes it. So I was born into a family of dog speakers. I was born talking. My first word was hamburger. I say it clearly now, but in the beginning, when I was a puppy, it was hamburger. And I was born into a family of hillbillies. Basically, there was a kid I was his dog, named Rulon Leatherwood. He would pretty much sit on the front porch of the house and bawl for clabber most of the time. But eventually, I learned to speak. I had an accent, which I had to get rid of later for business reasons. But eventually, I started speaking at the church, and word got out. And so I was one of the ones where people found out that I could talk. One of the people who came to see us was a failed ventriloquist named Eddie Portalupi. You can see where this is going, right?
No.
Eddie had a problem with moving his lips when the dummy moved his mouth. So he had an idea that I would sit on his lap and he would let the audience tape his mouth shut while I sang opera. I sang mostly from the third act of Rigoletto. I sang La Donna Mobile. Woman is flighty. La Donna Mobile.
Yeah.
She's like a feather in the viento, in the wind, like a feather on the wind. I speak 6 languages. Anyway, we went on the road for a while. We traveled all over the place, and
what was the name of the ventriloquist? I'm sorry,
Eddie Portalupi. He was a failed ventriloquist until we got together. Can I go on with this? Or
Sorry.
We're working Japan. We're working a club in Japan outside of near Arroyo-con where we were staying, and we're working this club. Had a lot of female impersonators in it, and us, but it was mostly catered to tourists. And we did the act, and after the act, sometime that week, I had a day off, and I ended up, for some reason, in the suicide forest, which threw me into a great depression. And I ran away from Eddie. I fell in with some bad people. And a month later, I was running a string of bitches in Bangkok. Mostly poodles. Look, I don't know. I know a lot of people like poodles, but I got to tell you, French poodles are whores. They are rapacious fornicators. They are, and we also had one English bulldog for people with, more refined taste. Anyway, I'm not doing all that well. I'm doing a lot of drugs, and I ran into this professor from Yale, a guy named Hubbard Rust, and he was a teacher of humanities there, and he caught the act, and he saw through it right away. He knew it wasn't Eddie talking. He knew he had stumbled on one of my breed, the legendary talking dogs. So he took me under his wing, and we went back to Yale, and he groomed me so that I could teach humanities. But we had a great time together. I remember the days we used to go out. Hubbard and I would go out to Esker Point Beach. And I would chase a ball, and I would chase the ball forever, actually. The ball, to us, dogs, is like happiness to humans. You chase it, and you catch it, and you get it, and then you drop it, and you lose it, and then you chase it again. And you'll do this until you die. And that's a similarity between the one basic similarity between humans and dogs. We're always chasing happiness, and once we get it, we lose it, and then we chase it again, and then eventually we fall over dead. So I was at Esker Point Beach one day that I ran into Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker, the Red Rocker himself, and he seduced me. Huh? He told me that I could share the rock and roll lifestyle with him, and we could go on the road together. He was fascinated by having a talking dog. He had everything else. He had a slew of Ferraris. He had everything in the world, but he didn't have a talking dog. So I came with him to Los Angeles, and you can probably figure out the rest. Recidivism struck, and within 2 weeks, I was licking cocaine out of a bowl behind Jumbo's clown room. Dog catcher got me, and they put me in a kill shelter in Van Nuys. It's an odd combination of words, kill shelter, isn't it? Anyway, I was there for a couple of weeks until this guy came and rescued me and brought me here to this fabulous place. Where are we? Van Nuys, in Van Nuys. And that's how I got here. That's the story. So the guy turns to the other guy and says, I'll take him. Why are you selling him? Guy says, because he's a fucking liar. He's never left the backyard.
Well, couple things. How many times, Don, over the years of our friendship, would you estimate?
Well, our friendship ended today when you started interrupting me. So you mean up until now? Up until now? How many times have I told the dog story? I don't know. I don't know how many times I told the dog story. Somewhere between 6 and 100.
But to me in particular, because and we'll get to this later on in this.
Don't be so sure of yourself. Go ahead.
In this possibly adventure. I'm sure I've heard that from you at least 50 times.
Probably, yeah.
And you've never told it the same way.
No, that would be boring.
Now, it wouldn't be boring for the person hearing it for the first time.
No, but I don't care about that person. I care about you, Johnny.
Now, see, I don't think that's true.
That's not.
I think the reason I think the main person who's trying not to be bored with that story is you.
That's right. I entertain myself. Yes.
And so my question is, and this could actually be asked about many activities involving humans, is the point of the story for the storyteller or for the person listening to the story?
Well, I think it's for the storyteller first off, and then the person listening to it gets to experience it with the storyteller. You know, there are some jokes that require you to stay true to exactly the exact wording of the joke, but open-ended jokes, shaggy dog stories, if you will, are stories that can vary from teller to teller, from person to person, and from Ed Morrow to I'm sorry. It's a pinball machine.
Is the
in here.
brain, do you suppose,
It's just,
disintegrating, or is it making connections? Are you having a stroke? Are you not having a stroke? And how will I know?
There'd be very little difference as far as I can tell. I think, I've got synapses firing in all different directions. But I think it's, to answer your question seriously, I don't know if that's possible, but I think it's in the teller. The teller of the story needs to be entertained by his own inventions as the story gets told.
So I want to go deep into this because what the hell else are we doing?
Yeah. Okay.
We have the studio for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. I could tell it again if you want.
Well, let's... I don't know what crime I'd have to commit for that to be the sentence, but no, the joke itself.
Yes.
You've used the term storytelling and joke sort of interchangeably. Is there a difference between a story and a joke?
I think there is. I think the best jokes are actually little stories. They're little movies. I'll tell you one. A cop is making his late night rounds, and he's going by Lover's Lane, and he notices a car with a boy in the front seat and a girl in the back seat. And he goes, "What the hell's going on here?" And he goes over and he taps on the window, and the kid rolls down the window. He says, "What are you doing, son?" And he says, "I'm playing a video game." And he says, "And what's she doing?" And the kid turns around and says, "She's doing her nails." And the cop says, How old are you?" And the kid says, "I'm 21. And he says, "How old is she?" And the kid looks at his watch. He says, "She'll be 18 in 12 minutes.
Now, I should say right up front, none of these jokes are cleared by me before you tell them. So
Cleared by you?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know I needed permission. What are we talking about here?
Apparently you don't.
No, I don't.
So just for those, I mean, now I can't give a trigger warning. I can't warn people if they're offended by...
I don't care if they're offended. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell stories, to talk with you, to find out about you eventually, because I have no real memory of who you are.
Again, this is why I wonder if we should be doing video. Because if we were doing video, maybe a medical professional could be watching and say, "Hey, that man's having a significant aneurysm or event."
Yeah. Well, we could do that.
So, okay.
I look good.
You do look good.
Yeah.
You do, because it's the theater of the mind with audio,
Yes.
I would prefer the audience imagine what you look like rather than see you.
Devilishly handsome?
Again, I would rather the audience imagine.
I'm just giving them a clue.
Now, it's interesting you say devilishly handsome, because I'm going to bet if you ask most people, they would agree with me that God doesn't give with both hands. If God gives someone a great sense of humor, in my experience, my wife is a huge exception to this rule. If they have a great sense of humor, they're going to look like Conan O'Brien. They're not going to look like a normal human being. And that's not a judgment on Conan.
Okay.
If you like that look, I think he's great.
Okay.
My point is that I bet you most people who think funny don't think devilishly handsome.
I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm saying that you're the great exception.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll agree with that.
And next time,
Yes.
we're going to delve a little bit more into the dog story. We're going to talk about whether or not the statutory rape joke you told was funny or offensive. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Donnie and Johnny story time.